You know, I went in for surgery on this one and said he couldn't do nothing for me. And he said, you're done bulldogging and you'd be lucky to rope, because I, broke the clavicle and I broke the ball joint in 5 places and, tore the rotator cuffs. And he says, just run the bands the best you can. But I stayed roping. I had to keep working, because that's what I do for a living. My name's Bradley Gerald Campbell. My nickname's BJ. I was born in Bishop, California, a little small town below Mammoth Lakes, Mammoth Mountain, June Lake. My dad was a horse trainer, cowboy, roper, steer wrestler. I got into that at a young age.
The ranching lifestyle is exhilarating. It's incredible to work and be amongst animals, and the fulfillment that you get from a day working with animals and with the land and outside, it's uncomparable.
I used to rodeo full time for 17 years. I won 3 pickups, 50 saddles, and I don't know how many buckles, a couple 50-gallon drums full. I won a couple $1 million roping, so 500 at a time. So, if it's meant for me to go, I'll be there, and if it's not, then I'll just be, in Arizona where I love it. My place is paid off, and my rigs are paid off, my kids homeschooled, my wife's in a breakaway. But I was thinking about cracking back out if things are lining up,
There's a lot of sacrificing when it comes to the ranching lifestyle and the rodeo lifestyle. When you win, you're now able to provide and you're able to support your family and get on to the next opportunity to win. But none of it is easy, and there's a lot of work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that goes in all along the way. In the end, I don't think anybody that rodeos or anybody that ranches or farms could imagine their lives any other way. But it's not without a lot of work and a lot of toughing it out.
I used to ride 10 to 15 horses a day during the week. I always say Monday's my day off, but I would still ride 3, 4. I rode in the rain, snow, sun, wind, dust. That's where my body started taking a toll. 1 wreck leads into 2, then steer wrestling. I steer wrestled 17 years. And I started getting hurt when I was about 32. I broke this right shoulder in 5 places at San Angelo, Texas. And I didn't know it, and I kept going, just taking Banamine, whatever, to get through the day. But I just never did rest.
BJ broke his shoulder in multiple places, 5 different places. His rotator cuff tendons torn up. BJ Campbell is probably one of the grittiest, toughest human beings I think I've ever met. And when he injured his shoulder, he just thought, oh, let me rub some dirt on it. I don't have time. I can't address it right now. I got to keep going, because on the rodeo circuit, you're riding, you're competing for the win so that you can get through the next phase of life until the next competition. So when BJ injured his shoulder, he kind of had that mentality, let's bury it down. And then it was compounded with yet another injury until he broke his shoulder in 5 places, and now he was forced to address it. This is a lifestyle that is not for the faint at heart. Nobody that ranches or rodeos for a living would change it. They wouldn't do anything else, but it is not to be taken lightly. And when you put your injuries aside and you don't address them, they can compound and eventually really take you down until you're forced to have to make a move.
Heather's got with Rachel, and they got me in some appointment. We did the right shoulder first. 15 days later, I was back, using a little stiffer rope, feeling better. My arm wasn't going to sleep when I tried to go to bed, I used to have to pick it up off the bed and it would go numb. We waited 30 days, did the left one second. This one took a little more time. I don't know why, because this one's had more damage, but this one took more time. And then last month, I noticed it's way better. But now, shoot, I'm craving it. I actually bulldogged a steer the other day. When my shoulders got to where I could lay on my side and sleep 8-10 hours, and I could go out and rope without being a pain, it changed my mind. When you got to quit at 35 years old because your shoulders, I was depressed. I'm not going to lie to you. Now I'm not. Whether or not I ever go to too many rodeos or not, my shoulders had me to where I was sick of it, you know what I mean? I weighed 237 pounds and I started, now I'm down to about 210, you know what I mean? Because I could do something. When you go to lift a weight or to run a band and you can't, next thing you know, and then me and pain pills, we don't get along.
After BJ's treatment on his shoulder, he actually started to feel better and was not needing to take a pain pill to relieve the pain so that he could get out and work and do all that he has to do. He was finding relief, and that relief inspired him to want to get out and move more. And he was able to lose a little weight, which only helped his overall health and just was a great adjunct to everything that we were able to do for him. He was able to meet the process halfway and give his body the rest of the push that it needed to find true healing.
I've tried telling him, don't do that surgery, you know. I got family members that need a knee replacement. I said, try this, you know. I've sent a couple guys that needed knee replacement and their back haven't replaced it yet. What's wrong with trying this first? Because if you're out a year on a knee replacement, it's better to invest in this because you're out a couple weeks. Either way, you still got to do rehab. You have to work it. You have to take care of your body after it's been hurt. That goes along with junk food and everything else. You just can't do it because it goes right to the joint. I feel great. I feel better than I ever have.
Sometimes we're able to help patients avoid surgeries altogether. We have a huge patient base that will never go in and have a joint replacement surgery. They just don't want to. So they'll come in however often they need to stay out of pain and maintain the relief that they have. Sometimes you can't avoid surgery, and sometimes you have to go in and have something surgically repaired. If you're young or you're within a certain age range and you have a tendon that's torn, sometimes it makes sense to just go in and have it repaired and fixed. But that's not always the answer. And what we do is an adjunct to surgical intervention. Sometimes it's an adjunct, and other times it helps you avoid it altogether. We take it on a case-by-case basis.